Assemble and hear, O sons of Jacob. Listen to Israel, your father.
Jacob and his sons. 13 paintings that are larger than life. And it's the beginning of the 12 tribes of Israel. Francisco de Zurbarán was one of the greatest artists of the 17th century in Spain, of the golden age of Spanish art. This very young artist that came from a very humble family was sent to the big city that was closest to him, which is, of course, Seville. One of the largest cities in Europe at the time, the gates to the Spanish territories in the Americas.
It held a complete monopoly on the trade coming back and forth from the New World markets. All the gold, all the textiles, all the pigments, all of that had to pass through Seville.
It's very likely that it was some individual that commissioned the paintings, but we exactly don't know.
This is such a specific topic that it seems unlikely Zurbarán would have painted it for sale on the open market.
What we do know is that in the 1720s they appear in London, and this Anglican bishop from Durham is successful in buying a dozen of the paintings.
And he steered a bill through Parliament for the emancipation of the Jews. And the government took fright and almost immediately repealed the bill. Bishop Trevor, in his frustration, bought these pictures which had come up for sale, and the purpose of it was to shame the British aristocracy. I was brought up in the northeast of England, this part of the world. The fact that the Zurbarán pictures were here at the palace at Auckland made me really want to make sure that they stayed here.
The paintings have left the castle because we are at present renovating the bishop's palace. And we wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to travel the paintings, to study them, to learn more about them, and to exhibit them at the Meadows Museum and then at the Frick Collection.
The paintings started leaving England and coming to Fort Worth.
I was immediately intrigued by the idea that nobody had ever studied these paintings on this level before, and that we really stood to learn more about Zurbarán's artistic practice. We made the strategic decision to just pick a couple of paintings that we thought could be representative of the whole series. One of the things that we were able to confirm is that the type of ground that Zurbarán used was based on civilian earth. These are the very first preparatory layers that are applied to the canvas. And you can see how he uses the tonality of that dark brown ground for the shadows of the flesh tones. Beneath Levi's feet is this head of the Virgin. Zurbarán was starting another canvas and abandoned it at this point. Then the workshop turned it upside down and recycled it for the figure of Levi. It would have been difficult for one artist to complete a series on this scale. And so he put together a team. We put together a team to do the technical study.
So one of the things that we discovered was how the artist builds up his paint layers. So Zurbarán first applies a whitish blue paint layer, and then he really scratches in with the butt end of his brush this little twig.
Zurbarán played to his strengths. His strengths was not so much painting the human figure. He was not a classically trained artist. He was self-taught. And that's where he was very creative in turning to print sources.
These Zurbarán would have really turned to at the very beginning stages of the paintings. So here, Zurbarán is utilizing Degane's depiction of Joseph and really borrowing not so much the iconography, but more so the costume. And for this one, Zurbarán is utilizing Schongauer's depiction of this disciple and his overall frontal stance for his depiction of Jacob's oldest son, Reuben.
We have had a long-standing friendship and relationship with the Meadows Museum, and when Mark Rogland mentioned this possibility of collaboration, we went for it right away. This particular set of paintings is absolutely fascinating, not only for the formal qualities, the visual excitement of the series, but the legends that surround them.
It's really hard to find a group of pictures that has been studied and will be displayed and exhibited showing the whole parameter of its creation. And I think that what we really embrace is this kind of research project in which we can, with the support and working closely with other colleagues around the world, really move forward the understanding and appreciation of Spanish art.
When I walk around the grounds, I look up and I think to myself, my old friends aren't there at the moment, but I know they're in good hands, so I'm quite happy.